it is, according to you?
I think my perspective on life and my sense of humor. The song that got me my first publishing deal was a song called Mr. Heartbroke's Neighborhood, and it was based on Mr. Rogers. And it was just a funny song where I took the sort of the ideas of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the TV show, and turned it into a song about a guy who's heartbroken.
It's interesting because I interviewed some of the Grapevine Opry showcase singers, and they all had the same thing to say about country music. When I asked them, why do you pick to sing country music? It's because it's the stories. They're real.
What was interesting about talking about the lyrical perspective of country music, coming from a pop and rock background and living in the New York metro area where country's like a real niche, and coming here where it's really just the fabric of everything. One thing I noticed about the lyrics is that, comparatively speaking, in pop and rock, like you're saying, yeah, it's real to us, but a lot of times we get either more concerned with like the overall, the concept of what we're talking about, where the country artists seem to have more leeway to actually directly describe the things that are happening. They paint you the picture where it'll say, you know, the gravel and the tires, and it'll describe to you what's going on. Whereas like in the rock world and the pop world, we're like leaving you a trail of breadcrumbs, to get you to the what the song is about and leave it ambiguous.
Our songs are very conversational too. I wrote with a guy the other day, and he said that he wrote with this writer named Kim Williams, who is a guy who was in an explosion. When he got injured, he started writing songs. He couldn't work his job anymore. And he's had songs on over 100 million records. This guy Kim writes with somebody. When they get the song almost finished, he'll ask the writer, say, hey, what's your wife's name? And read it like it's a letter. He said that's when he feels like it's a good song.
Since the lyrical component of the songs are probably more so than musically as far as how things are weighted, what do you think took your craft to the next level?
Living in Nashville, you just get kind of beat up around other writers. The stuff you think is good at first, you realize it's maybe not so good. I love in songs when it says something without saying it. I'll give you an example. The song Like You Were Dying by Tim McGraw. I was in my early 40s with a lot of life before me when a moment came that stopped me on a dime. Spent the most of the next days looking at the x-rays, talking about the options and talking about sweet time. He never once said I went to the doctor. But you know exactly what's going on. And it's different everyday writing. I feel like some days I'm driving the train, some days my co-writer's driving the train. You know, some days I'm the idea guy and the lines are just flowing, and other days I'm the editor. Other days I'm not coming up with anything other than to just go, no, that's not it.
I thought that was great though, about like the different hats you could wear depending on where you're at.
A lot of times we do a lot of what's called co-staring.
Oh,
where we're both staring at each other going.
Usually when I go into a writing session, I usually write with people who are much better at the guitar than me. Okay. So I just let them do the music. If they come up with a melody, I always tend to tweak it and sing in sort of a different way.
I'm going to be open to suggestions.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
You have to be, or you can't co-write otherwise. If you're just set on it has to be your way or the highway, and sometimes you're right because it's your idea. You can have a mild case of cancer. That's what I had, and I had a very curable kind. Wow. Didn't think I was going to make it. Anytime anyone says the word cancer, you think I'm a goner. Because I lost my mother to it 20 years ago, and my dad died from it 2 years ago. Right after it happened, I wrote probably 4 or 5 things about it. And that's the best thing, the things that are true to life. It seems to me the stuff that you've lived, again, the authentic.